Hey guys, Private Jack here, and we're now into part 5 of how to fix hat materials and fix up the robotic boogaloo items, the heavies, ToughGuy Toque, and of course we're going to fix up the VooDoo JuJu. This is the VooDoo JuJu. This is the way it imports into Source FilmMaker, and a lot of people are wondering how they can get it so that it's paintable. The ToughGuy Toque comes in, and this is pretty much the way it looks when it comes in. And what we have to do is we have to edit the material files for it, and they'll come in and be just like they were in the TF2 game. The stripes will be paintable, and the JuJu will be paintable, and well, I guess let's get on with it. One note here, I just want to make sure that everyone is aware that it was R234 who put me on to how to fix this kind of stuff, and I want to give him credit because he is a real bonus advisor for the Source FilmMaker community. I mean, the stuff that he puts out, truly amazing. His particle work is like astounding. Anyway, thumbs up there, R234, and thanks for the inspiration for doing this tutorial series. That being said, let's get on with in part 5, we're just going to fix up the ToughGuy Toque here, and in part 6 we're going to move on to the JuJu. So, quick recap. Part 1, we talked about the various programs that you need to follow this series through. Part 2, we fixed up the Archimedes. Part 3, we fixed up, what was it? I think it was the Gibus, or what? No, it wasn't. It was the Robot Heavies titanium hat, or whatever, titanium toque, or whatever they call it. In part 4, what I did is I did a quick time lapse, and we finished fixing the materials for the other hats that are here. Part 5, we're going on with this, the ToughGuy Toque, and in part 6 we'll fix up the JuJu and wrap the whole series up. Just a quick note, these are not the only materials that are broken. As you work through the various models, you'll come across things, and this is basically what you have to do in order to fix materials in the Source FilmMaker. So that being said, let's get on with this. First thing we're going to do is we're going to open up Source FilmMaker so that we have a quick reference to the hats, and basically we can play around as we fix the materials. We're going to open up GIMP, and we're going to load the materials. So we're going to go File, Open. We're going to point to C, Program Files, x86 for a 64-bit guy, Steam, Steam Apps, Common, Source FilmMaker, Game, TF Materials, Models, Players, Items, Heavy. And the two materials that we need to bring in are the Heavy Stocking Cap VTF and the Heavy Stocking Cap Blue VTF, because both red and blue have their own separate material. So we what I did was selected the first one, held down the Control key, and selected the second one, and now I'm just going to open them up. When they open up, what you're going to do is you're going to find them open up here in the top. We're going to take the first one, which is the red, and it's more or less the same process as what we did with the Robot Boogaloo items. So we're going to come over here to the layers. We're going to right click on the layers. We're going to disable the layer mask. We are then going to edit the layer mask, and we are going to show the layer mask. What is actually happening here is, if we go back and just look at the material itself, for some strange reason, this area in here is where the stripe is supposed to be, and this area here is where the stripe is supposed to be, and up in here is supposed to be the tassel. They're missing from the material file, so when we actually put the layer on, there's nothing for the layer to append itself to, and what ends up happening is, as you paint the hat, it comes in and it's gray and red and that kind of things, because I don't know, it just is. And of course the tassel is black. So what we need to do is we need to grab a hold of some of the materials here. Now it's a little bit trickier to get this material because of the way that it's laid out. There's five or six different colors here, and we only want the white tassels and the white here. If we do the normal process of doing the select by color, well, it just doesn't work. So this is the way you have to do it. Right click on the layers, disable the layer mask, enable the edit the layer material, and show the layer mask. Once that's done, you're going to come over here, you're going to click on the material, go to select, we're going to select by color again, yes, and we're going to select the black. Now if I was to take and just transfer this over, the tassels would stay black. So what we're going to do is we're going to, if we hold down the shift key, you'll notice that there's a little plus sign come up beside my cursor. It means that I can add colors to the selection. So I'm going to click on the gray, and that pretty much gets all of the ball here. Now I'm going to change my selection tool, and I'm going to go to Tools, Selection Tools, and I'm going to pick up the Intelligent Scissors. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hold down the Shift key, and I'm going to try to trace out the rest of the tassels. And what I'm doing is, as I move the cursor along, I'm dropping a point by pressing on the left mouse button. And because this is already selected, I think I've done this wrong. We'll find out in a second. Come on, join up. I did do this wrong, because what's selected is the actual gray, not the white yet. So let's get rid of that by doing a Control Z. That didn't work either. Hit the Escape key a couple of times. Come back in here, show the layer. Come up into Select. None should not be highlighted. If it is, click on Select None. That will clear your selections away. Right click on the image, go to Select, select by color, click on the black, hold down the Shift key, click on the gray, and now what we want to do is invert the selection. So select, invert. Now the white and the tassels are selected. Now we can go through with our intelligent scissors, and actually I think I'm going to change that selection method and go to freehand, free select, hold down the Shift key, click right about there, start tracing around the ball here, because I want the whole tassel. Once you wrap it around and rejoin it, what happens is it selects, and now I've got this whole area selected. But that little bit of gray there I don't really want. So I'm going to hold down the Control key this time, and you'll notice that there's a minus sign show up. And I'm going to try and get rid of that gray section, just like that. That's a little bit better. Okay, so now I've got the white and I've got the tassel selected. I'm going to right-click on the material, Edit, Copy. Now I'm going to go back into the layers. I'm going to click off Edit the Mask Layer. I'm going to click off Show the Layer. And I'm going to come into the material file now, right-click, Edit, and paste. Now I've got that on my toque. It will present an area for the material to actually be painted. Once that's done, I can come back in here. I've got my floating layer section because I did a paste. I'm going to right click on the floating layer section. I'm going to anchor the layer, so now it's part of the material. I'm going to right click on the layer now. I'm going to unclick disable the layer mask, and I'm going to right click on the material and I'm going to apply the layer mask. Once that's done, File, Export. We're going back into the same directory under the same file name, Export, Replace, and here we have the VTF properties again. Say OK. That's exported. Now if I come in here and I into Source FilmMaker, hit on the console, type mat, reload all materials. It'll whirl around again. If it doesn't crash, I can now come back into my viewport and watch the blue. I think, or was it the blue? No, it was the red. Watch the red now. Bing! There it is. There's the ToughGuy Toque. And that stripe is now paintable if you edit the VTF or the VMT file. We're going to do the same thing for the blue now. So come back in here to GIMP. We can close this one out. That's the one that we just finished. Now we've got the blue, and we're going to do the same thing again with the blue as we just did with the red. So we're going to disable the layer mask. We're going to edit the layer mask. We're going to show the layer mask. We're going to right-click on the material, select by color, all the black, hold down the Shift key, come over here and click on the gray. We're going to right-click on the material now. We're going to select and invert the selection. And now we're going to change our tool to the free select. And we're going to try and hold down the Shift key. We're going to try and we're going to get the rest of that tassel. Oh, missed it. Missed it again. There it is. No. Hit escape. Let's try it again. Hold down the Shift key and trace it out. Make sure you include the selected and come back until it forms that little ball there. Let it go, and we have it selected. Once you're happy with your selection, right-click on the material file, Edit, Copy, And now we go back into the layer, right click on the layer, turn off the show mask, turn off the edit the mask layer, come back, right click on the material, edit, paste. That'll create that floating layer section again. Click on the floating layer section, right click on it, anchor the layer. That assigns the part that we pasted to the material. Right click on the layers again, enable the layer mask, right click and apply the layer mask. File, export. This is the blue one going in now. Export, replace. There's the properties. OK. I can exit out of GIMP now. Now let's make sure it worked first. Come back over into Source FilmMaker, go to the console. I'm going to hit the up arrow key, and that will actually load in the last command that I had typed into the editor. Mat reload all materials. Hit enter, let it whirl around a bit. If it doesn't crash, go back into the primary viewport, move the playhead, and voila, our ToughGuy Toque is now fixed. Just to make sure that it will take the paint, now we're going to go into Notepad++. We're going to load, we're going to open, C, program files, x86 for us 64-bit guys, Steam apps, common, Source FilmMaker, game, TF, materials, models. Can I get back that far? Okay, let's go right back. Steam apps, common, Source FilmMaker, game, TF, materials, models, player, items, heavy, and what we're looking for is the heavy stocking cap. Right there. What we want are the two VMT files, stocking cap and stocking cap blue. We're going to open those. Now if we walk through the file, we should find that $colortint_base command, and what we're going to do is we're going to change this to bright red for the no, let's make it white for the heavy, for the red heavy. Let's see, white, if I remember rightly, is 255, 255, 255, but we don't want it pure white. 255, 255, 254. That's almost pure white. So now when I come back in here, all I'm going to do is I'm going to change that to 255. Change this one to 255. Change this one to 254. The maximum value is 255. I'm going to save that. I'm going to come back into Source FilmMaker. I'm going to go into the console, and I'm going to rerun my mat_reload all materials. And if it doesn't crash, I'm going to come back into the viewport, watch the red hat as I move, or the blue, it was the blue hat, sorry. The blue hat has now changed from yellow to almost pure white on the tassel and on the stripes. Do the same thing for the red. This time we're going to make it almost black. So 0, 0, 5. File, save. Come back into Source FilmMaker, console, mat_reload all materials. If it doesn't crash, come back into the viewport, watch, and there's the black stripes and the black tassel. So we now have a paintable ToughGuy Toque. Oops, sorry about that. Forgot to change the motion editor. That one. And the areas that were supposed to be painted are painted. So, again, thanks to R234 for his inspiration on how to fix this stuff. Basically, that is fixing the ToughGuy Toque. The next thing that we're going to fix is going to be the JuJu, and I'm going to do that one on its own simply due to the fact that there's even more stuff that we have to select and change in order for it to be paintable. So with that, I'm going to say private jack out.